Getting closer than they are now.
You got City of Plano people? I just turned the mics on, by the way.
Oh, okay, so everyone can hear that we woke up this morning to flashing red and blue lights on our ceiling. And when we peeked out the window, it appears that the water line is broken.
Whoa.
Like literally right in front of our house. So we currently have no water. But the city is here to hopefully to fix it.
Yikes.
And our guard cat is sitting in front of the door just to make sure they don't come in.
They have at least turned it all off. Whether they're fixing it or not.
They keep leaving and coming back, but I think they just came back. I see the lights flashing.
Yeah, I saw them like turn the switch. Like, so you know the road that as we leave, RJ, like all the way up to where the next like street intersection is. They turned it off all the way up there.
Oh.
Wow. The whole neighborhood's out of water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. Did it create a big hole?
I'm sure they will.
Oh, okay. Sometimes when the water blasts out, it just creates a big hole by right. So,
Yeah, I think that so like we don't have asphalt here in Texas. I think it's it'll melt.
Oh, wow.
And so it was bubbling up through the cracks in the concrete.
That's crazy.
Oh, I couldn't even see that this morning.
Yeah.
wow. Yikes. Well, I hope you get your water back soon. That's
Me too.
They're jackhammering outside our building, like checking a gas line, and they like do some different part of it every day, and then they lay these big metal things over the hole. But some days they secure them better than others,
Yeah.
so all night you just hear cars going over it.
Oh,
It like rattles.
I hate
It's
that.
like, oh come
like
on,
a
guys,
seesaw.
just try to fit them in there a little bit better. But yeah.
That is annoying.
Yeah, and I can't tell you how many times I haven't been here that long.
Yeah, they're just
How many
always
times
digging
we've
up
dug
this
up
street.
this street and repaved it.
At least 4 or 5. At least 4
Oh,
or 5
jeez.
streets.
It's insane. They just keep coming back and doing it over and over again. They can't get enough of it.
So you just must be a street with a lot of lines, different kinds of lines and things.
You know, sometimes it's like the gas company, sometimes it's the electric company, sometimes it's the cable company.
Yeah.
They're all digging up the street.
But I don't think we
Yeah.
had any water.
And we had like the whole street that we repaved. They grounded all up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we got the bus lane painted.
We had the water line done as well. So we had
Oh yeah, I think the water line was at the end of the block though when that happened. Oh, that's true.
Yeah, anyway, all right. So, New York is basically, in my opinion, it's just a crumbling city. It's constantly under destruction.
Yeah.
Reconstruction. You pretty much can't go anywhere without hearing a jackhammer.
Yeah,
It's just one of the background sounds of the city.
it is.
But it's a real bummer when it's right under your window.
Yeah.
But it feels like there's got to be a better way than a jackhammer. Like a
They should just have pods they can open. Like pre-cut pods.
And they did, like when they did a really long line, they did use a saw. It was a giant saw, like the size of a car. And
Have you guys heard of the Solar Road project?
oh, I saw something
No.
posted about that, but I don't know where it is or any details.
So it's kind of started in Colorado. The actual project is a failure. They installed some test strips and they couldn't produce enough electricity to actually run itself, which was one of the main like proponents of the project. But what they did, like one of the ideas that I think should be carried forward, is they had all the utility lines like buried under the side of the solar road, kind of like drainage ditches. And so all you had to do was go and like flip up like a manhole cover, basically. You can go in there and lay new lines and stuff like that.
nice.
It's like you wouldn't have to cut up the road every time.
Right.
That's nice.
Makes a lot of sense. I think the one I saw was a different project. There was raised solar panels basically in the median, and
Oh, okay.
and underneath there was a bike path. So it was like the bike path was shaded and protected from the rain, but also the roof of it was generating power.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually the road surface itself.
Yeah, like the Kickstarter or crowdfunding or whatever it was like 20 something years ago now. Or 10 or 15, I don't know. It was a while ago. Like it was pretty neat. Like pretty resilient and durable, and the sort of solar panels would be heated and have all these LED lights. So if you had pedestrians or animals crossing, it would like hit a pressure switch and then light up that panel so that like it highlights on the road that there's something on there.
We're watching.
Just to keep all the snow and stuff off of it.
Oh, that's cool. We're watching
Yeah.
The Peripheral, which is the most kind of off. It's based on a book by William Gibson. Who's like, he's got to have won the Hugo, which Allison tells me, I thought it was a very well-known award, but Allison tells me she's never heard of it before. But anyway, it's one of in their world they have lights on the the road as well, but they're arrows that are like showing you where to go, and there's like about 5 of them in front of the vehicle, and they move with the vehicle. Anyway,
Interesting.
yeah.
I'm just smiling at you.
It's ominous.
It is. It's always suspicious.
Suspiciously suspicious.
Yes. Oh, and I forgot to transition to the drawing. It's already begun. We haven't even started the show yet. Hold on, let me do the intro. Okay, here we go. Let me just double check all my settings. Yeah, everything's good. Recording. Yes. All right. Awesome. Miles is going to do the intro today.
Yep. his new favorite sounds are piercing scream and Donald Duck, like weird guttural noise. So if he gets too screamy, I may just mute myself for a time.
No, I think it's awesome.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Hi, welcome to Fun Facts Live. I'm your host, David, and with me today is Miles.
That's your cue, buddy. No, he just came in a little early.
Okay. Allison.
Hello.
Caitlin.
Hi.
RJ.
Hello.
And Jake.
Hello.
We've got quite a crew today. Maria is out today watching something really scary. So, yeah. Maybe we'll get to hear about it next week. Speaking of which, it is very close. This is Halloween weekend.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm very curious. I guess they must celebrate. Is Halloween a global phenomena?
Yes.
Yes?
Not. It's sort of become one.
Yeah.
Didn't find out.
I think we talked about this last year with Maria to be like,
we
Maria, is Halloween a thing there? And she
Yeah.
was like, no. And David was like, I think this was the beginning of David's conviction that Sweden has no holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of unfun happening there.
Yeah.
But she is going to see a horror movie, I
Yeah.
understand. So,
So,
timely.
Yeah. We'll have to find out again because I don't totally remember. Sometimes that's convenient, and sometimes it's a real bummer. But I don't remember things very well. All right, let's get started. Wait, I was going to say today we have a sponsor.
Oh.
Fun Facts Live is brought to you by Superstar, the card game. I forgot the name of it because it changed recently.
Yeah.
It used to be Good Dog, but
Yeah.
now it's Superstar, the card game, and you can win fame, fortune, talent, or style. That's TBD.
Yeah.
But probably talent and happiness.
Yeah.
When you win all 4 of them, you become the next superstar. So yeah, check it out. I'll post a link in the description. It's in beta right now, but Allison and I play it every day.
Yeah, we love it.
It's kind of fun.
It's really fun.
Yeah. All right. That said, let's get started with the fun facts. Why don't we get started with Caitlin?
Okay.
Okay. So, it's been an interesting morning here, and I didn't come up with a new fun fact, so I'm resurrecting one from like probably a couple of years ago now, before we actually released the podcast as a podcast. And it is Halloween-ish and fall-ish, I guess, because it's about pumpkins. So, my favorite fun fact about pumpkins is that they can cross-pollinate with other many other squashes and gourds. And so if you plant the seeds from a pumpkin, you may not get a pumpkin growing. You may get something else growing because of how if that pumpkin plant was pollinated by a different species, you may not get a pumpkin out in the seeds. So I just think that's kind of fun bit of biology. I mean, of course, if your pumpkin is from a commercial farm or a very large farm where they keep the pumpkins, they're not growing anything else but pumpkins. You're just gonna get pumpkins. But if you were to say you had your own garden and you had pumpkins and some other things, then you might get some cross pollination going. And surprise, next year you don't have any more pumpkins.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. My mom does a lot of gardening, and it's always, speaking of like not knowing what's going to come up, it's always fun because she keeps a compost pile, and we just never know what's going to come out of that.
Sure.
But I do remember one year a pumpkin came out of it. Yes, a big pumpkin vine crawled all over the place. Unfortunately, the pumpkins never fully matured. Something happened. Some sort of blight on them. Yeah, sadly. But a lot of times there's some good stuff that comes out of the compost pile. But it's an ongoing battle between my mom and my dad, though, because my mom loves to garden and loves her compost. And my dad doesn't like having to fight the rats. They come after it. So it's a little bit of push and pull. Like stop bringing the rats to the house. But I want to grow my compost. Yeah, it's tough to win. But I think the compromise is to have the compost in some sort of barrel.
Yeah, I mean those big composting barrels they're enclosed in some way, right? So they don't get critters in them.
Yeah, but then you can't have them just growing pumpkins and stuff.
True.
True. Yeah. That's the trade-off, I guess.
You can just get a lot of coyotes around.
That's
or
true.
bobcats.
That's what we have.
Yeah.
Yep.
Both.
Really? Do you see them often?
We hear the
Chase-
coyotes. Jake has seen one.
I saw one
We've
the other
seen
day leaving for work. Just right out here.
We've seen the bobcat a couple times.
Wow.
I've never seen a bobcat.
Bobcats are amazing. I just saw a video the other day of one making an incredible leap. They're like, I don't remember the exact distance, but it was many times its body length.
Wow.
So across water. Yeah.
We named the neighborhood Bobcat Grumbles.
That's pretty cute.
Yeah.
She's very I don't know, grumbly isn't the right word for her. She's kind of upset that we were around.
I see.
She came out of a storm drain, so she's like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, she looked very haggard. It was when we first saw her, it was August, mid-August, so it was super hot and super dry. It hadn't rained in a long, long time, and she looked like she was feeling it. She was not looking too good. But I mean, she didn't look really unhealthy, just tired, definitely grumpy. Yeah, okay. Tired, kind of disheveled. Yeah.
That's sad. That reminds me of when we took our London trip. We saw a fox just walking around in the street.
Yeah.
And a red fox. And I just read yesterday about someone in London leaving their back door open to the garden, which I believe is the yard.
Yeah.
But apparently came back to find a fox in her bed, just hanging out.
Yeah.
It's it was raining outside. The fox is it's nice in here. So there's a picture of the fox just like a dog just curled up in the bed. So apparently London has a fox problem, if you call it that. They're pretty cute.
I was like, what's problem might be a stretch.
Yes. Right. Cool. All right. So let's see. Shall we leave? Let's leave the McGargles to wrap it up. So Allison.
Well,
Oops. I just said. Oh my
What'd you
gosh.
say?
Do I have to edit that out?
What did you say?
I said their last name.
Oh.
Whoops.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Okay. Okay.
I'm a public-facing entity anyway. Like,
So am I.
Okay.
I'm not. Don't you say my last name.
Okay,
Don't you
fine.
say it. I don't know what I was gonna say. Okay. All right.
Forgot your fun fact now.
So I was trying to think of kind of some Halloween facts, and I really couldn't. Then I was like, oh, candy facts, and then I've already used up most of my candy facts. So this is tangentially related to candy and sweets, but I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of the marshmallow.
Oh, I bet I know why.
Why? I don't know why.
Because we watched.
It's like, how do you know
British
why? I
Bake
don't know
Off.
why. Oh, but this is a fun fact I was going to do last week, so I don't know if it had anything to do with Custard Week at a Great British Bake Off.
No, it wasn't Custard Week. It was last week that they did. They had to make their own s'mores.
Oh, that must be
Remember?
why. Yeah.
Yeah,
you're
they had to
right.
make their own s'mores, and they were nothing like a s'more.
No.
Like the British version of a s'more is not.
Well, it was too fancy.
It was way too fancy. It was like a work of art.
Yeah.
The giant marshmallow that was like 4 inches thick, a little bit of chocolate ganache, and then what do they call them? Digestives? I don't even know what that is, but they were not graham crackers, and they were round. So the whole thing looked like a really thick ice cream sandwich, a round ice cream sandwich.
Yeah, that's a good description.
Yeah, there was no mess. Nothing that makes
Well,
a
they were
s'more
eating them with
s'more.
a spoon. It was weird.
The chocolate was not inside the marshmallow. Yeah, eating it with a spoon. Like, what is this? But anyway, they had to make their own marshmallow, so I think that might be what inspired this. Maybe
well, it's not the first time the British were wrong about something.
Yeah. It's so funny when they try to make American food. They do not do it justice.
Well, shockingly enough, the marshmallow is not an American food because it seems like the most American thing on earth.
Really?
But it actually dates back to ancient Egypt.
What?
When it was actually made from the boiled root of the mallow plant.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
And
I
mallows
didn't know there was
grow in marshes.
Really?
No, Miles, you can't have a marshmallow. You're too young.
Yeah. And they really...
Maybe next year, sweetie.
Aw.
Offended.
Yeah, they would kind of boil pieces of the root pulp with honey until it had thickened, and it was semi-medicinal. It was kind of used as a cough drop or a lozenge, essentially. And that was really kind of the most prominent existence of marshmallows in the world until the early 1800s in France. And I honestly don't know how marshmallows went to France from ancient Egypt. I think it was kind of one of those things where like there's just a branch in the timeline and it resurrected itself, not a carried over recipe type deal. But like kind of confectionaries, small candy shops would whip the sap from the mallow root into kind of a fluffy candy called a pâté de guimauve. I'm not going to say that right. And that it was also sold in kind of a bar form, like a really small like lozenge. I'm picturing a Tootsie Roll. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's how I'm picturing it. But unfortunately, it was really time and labor intensive to produce. It would take like 2 days to make and dry and cut before you could sell it. So it wasn't really particularly profitable. But in the mid 1800s, there was candy manufacturing developed this new process called the starch mogul system, which is essentially what enabled kind of all like jelly and whipped candies to be put in like a mold form with cornstarch. And then but unfortunately, because of the time it took to like boil the mallow root and all that stuff, it still wasn't super time and labor efficient. So that's when they started experimenting with gelatin. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the modern form of the marshmallow, is made with gelatin instead of the mallow root. Still much more efficient process than it was previously, but it really did not take off until the extrusion method was patented, which gives us our great kind of like long tube form of marshmallows that are then cut and segmented for mass production. And that's really when marshmallows took off in the US in the 1950s. It was after kind of the innovation of mass production.
Yeah, and then they
Sure,
appeared in
sausage.
Ghostbusters.
What?
Then they appeared in Ghostbusters.
Yes, but they were already quite popular. But what was interesting to me is the guy who invented the extrusion method, this guy named Alex Dumock, like he's not like the heir to like the Jiffy Puff, Jet Puff, Jiffy Puff, Jet Puff. Like he didn't actually buy a marshmallow company in 2003. He bought Campfire marshmallows, which I do not think are top tier.
I don't know about that.
Like you can get them if like it's one of those things where like sorry we're gonna get sued. Like if you have to go to the dollar store and get marshmallows because like you realize you have stuff for s'mores and you're just trying to go quickly, then you might find a Campfire.
That's true.
But you're not gonna find them in your reputable grocers. So
True.
anyway,
Huh,
yeah.
Interesting. I never thought of the shape of marshmallows being chopped bits of a long tube, but
That's absolutely
it
what
totally
they are.
makes sense.
Yeah, before they were kind of a little bit more fanciful because they used that starch mogul process of forming them into like fun shapes.
Like
So they went from
like
like a
the
lozenge
chicks.
brick to a fun shape to the tube.
Okay. And then once a year we get the marshmallow chicks or whatever those
Well,
are.
peeps are not made with the extrusion method.
Right. That's
Yeah.
the old method
They're made. Yeah, they're deposited.
into a mold.
Yeah, so
Makes
it's different.
So we still have marshmallows in molds, but they're just called peeps.
Yes, essentially. And then I think most people know this, but just related fun fact is the origin of the s'more is from a 1927 book, or I'm not sure if it's a pamphlet or a book, Tramping and Trailing with the Girl Scouts. That's the first published.
Tramping and trailing. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
we
first
would not
like
use
published
that
s'more
word
recipe.
anymore
S'mores recipe.
in that context.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah. Very interesting.
yeah. So marshmallows been around since ancient Egypt in many different forms, but they're fully Americanized
Yeah.
now.
And now
So-
gelatin.
Yeah.
I have a theory about how they came to France.
Oh,
if
I-
anyone cares to hear it.
I would love to hear it.
So in 1798, Napoleon invaded Egypt, right? And then
Wow.
everything in France became like Egypt.
Hmm.
Like there was just like I think they called it Egyptomania, Egyptian mania. Yeah. But they started. Everything was like that's where Egyptology kind of got its start. Like all the high society was just enthralled with Egypt. But no one could read hieroglyphics until 1822. So like early to mid 1800s when the Rosetta Stone was cracked by a Frenchman. And then it just really took off. And so they probably found a recipe for marshmallows and said, hey, this is Egypt. Let's try to recreate it.
I think
you
that's a
might be
solid
right.
theory.
That's really cool. I like that theory a lot.
I got to see the Rosetta Stone in person. It was really the highlight of my museum experience in London. Did I hear they're gonna have to? There's some debate about sending it back.
Well, everything in the British Museum probably shouldn't be in the British Museum. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's handy it's all collected one place, but it's probably not right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's not right. Not probably. It's not right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our museums here are cleaning up some of their history. We got a giant statue in front of our museum next door. Got taken away.
Yep.
Somewhere down south, I hear.
I think I thought it was somewhere out west.
Out west? Okay.
Yeah.
Somewhere they're more tolerant of these things. but not here in New York City. It was Thomas. No,
No.
not Thomas Jefferson. What?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Theodore Roosevelt. Yes, it was Theodore Roosevelt. It was a fantastic statue, except he was up on a horse, and the Native American was like down below walking.
Naked.
Oh, yeah, he was all dressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
It was not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a super high quality, like it was beautiful work of art, but yeah, it was from a different time period.
Yeah.
Not really appropriate anymore. Sort of like the tramping Girl Scouts.
Okay.
You said you brought that up.
Yeah.
You don't remember?
I do remember, but I just
Okay.
I don't think people find the word tramping offensive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like tramping through the woods.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think
it's
fine.
stomping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although I guess you shouldn't go like stomping through the woods. Now it's all like leave no trace, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I think if you took off the ing
Yeah.
and called someone that, then that'd be offensive.
Or someone in a different context, if someone went tramping. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's a thing. but-
Well, in the after the Civil War and kind of some changes in migratory patterns.
Of Girl Scouts?
No, a tramp was
Okay.
no.
migrate.
Yeah, no. A hobo is a traveling worker. A tramp is a traveling non-worker.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we
Oh,
get.
I never
late
knew
for
there was a
traffic.
difference. Distinction.
Yep.
Oh, very interesting. I remember reading about hobos having certain agreed upon hieroglyphics or codes that they would write on the doorstep of places, and so they would inform other hobos if
Yep.
this was a good place to knock and ask for something or not.
Yep.
Banjo Bindle stuff.
Apple pie.
Apple pie.
Yeah. One more interesting thing about the s'more is the graham cracker, which was originally created to, in the interest of having people abstain from immoral behavior. They weren't supposed to taste good, basically.
I wondered how you were gonna
You knew that was coming?
in a funny kind of way, and I was like, 'cause
I've been
knew
thinking about it.
You said graham crackers. I thought, I know where this is going.
Yeah,
How's
actually,
he gonna do this PG? Okay.
yeah, I actually thought about it for a little while before I said it. Like, how am I going to say this? Yes. But yeah, I would think it was invented by some preacher who didn't want people
It
doing
was,
immoral
yeah.
things. But I don't think they were sweet back then, so I think it's a little bit of a travesty now. He's probably
Didn't have
unhappy.
the honey graham.
No, there was no
Yeah.
money.
I always thought they were related to hardtack.
Oh, Swedish hardtack. Now we need Maria here to tell us about Swedish hardtack. Is
Well,
that
I
what
don't
you're referring
know
to?
if it's- No, like ship's biscuit. Does that phrase mean
No.
anything to you guys?
No.
So basically, it was flour and salt and a bit of water, and then it was dried out. Like that was
Not baked?
I mean, so you'd bake all the water out of it. It took
I
like
see.
4 days. But those were your long-term like ship's provisions or like marching food for
Okay.
military. Like that's how
Mhm.
like most navies had some form of hardtack.
Well, we were at. I love breakfast pastries. It is like my greatest
Yeah.
like weakness. Any kind of like Danish donut, crumb. I love breakfast
Cruller.
pastry. Any kind of breakfast pastry.
Yeah.
So we were at Trader Joe's, and I was like, David, I'm getting Kringle, and he thought Kringle was hardtack. And he
Yeah,
was like,
oh, no.
why are you so obsessed with getting this? And I was like, I don't think it's what you think it is. He goes, no, you open it. You're going to see. It's like a crispy cracker. And I was like, it's a Danish.
Yeah, because there was no
Yeah.
window, so you couldn't see what was in it.
Yeah,
It was
so
just
the
a-
great Kringle debate.
Yeah, it
yeah.
was just like a
Yeah.
big flat square, basically, with something round inside of it that
Yeah.
I thought was going to be hard and crispy, like you're talking about hardtack.
I was like,
Yeah,
no,
so-
it's Danish.
Okay.
Like if you read any like Civil War biographies or anything like that, like you'll hear people talking about hardtack and like you would break a tooth on it. They had to like soak it in their coffee for it to be even palatable.
Oh,
Like,
wow. That's different than the way my mom makes it. She called it Swedish hardtack, but I don't know if that's official. We'll have to wait for Maria to verify. But it was super hard, but it was so thin. She rolled it out super thin, so you could totally eat it without breaking your teeth or anything. And you just put, well, my mom, of course, I don't know. Again, I don't know if this is how you officially eat them, but the way we ate them, they spread butter and jelly on them. So, yeah. All right. Well, that was an interesting, fun fact about marshmallows. Let's go to Jake. What have you got for us today?
I actually have well, I have two, but they're related. So
Bring them on.
all right. So Halloween is over 2,000 years old. Yeah, it was originated by the Celts in the English Isles and like northern France and all of that, right? October 31st marked the end of the year. So like November 1st was their New Year's Day. And so October 31st was the day when kind of the veil was thin and dead people would come back to life and all the spirits and ghosts and all that kind of stuff. So on October 31st, the Celtic festival of Samhain, Samhain, and I apologize, my Celtic is not great. So it was customary for poor children to go door to door and beg for food or money for the new year. And then in return for people giving them food or money, they would pray for the departed souls from that family. Like their relatives and stuff like that. And that was the practice called souling, which is where we get trick-or-treating from. So, yeah.
So you get a prayer or a trick.
Yeah, so like you would go door to door and you would beg for food, like an apple or some sort of gift. And in return for that gift, you would offer prayers for that family's dead relatives.
Where did the trick come from? Like if they said no, we don't want to give you anything. Maybe there was some ill will.
I just heard in a podcast the other day, like I think part of the tradition is also they do like perform a trick. Like I think the prayer it may be community specific or time period, but like it would be a prayer or it'd be like some sort of little like mini performance, like, oh look, I pulled a cord out of your ear, like you reward me with an apple.
Or maybe a prayer or a curse. No, too far.
Like a little 7-year-old cursing you on the steps. You didn't get an apple.
So did you hear, RJ, did you hear
so
that from...
sorry.
Go ahead.
One quickly, I think according to the internet, according to Wikipedia and my understanding of pronunciation keys, I think it's pronounced more like Samhain or Samhain.
Sounds more correct.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I know. Gaelic and like Irish are, to an English speaker, the letters don't, it doesn't make sense. But I think
RJ, what's
more like
what's
that.
the
So
one
anyway,
word?
carry on.
What's the one word in Gaelic that we know?
I don't remember it.
What?
Guess you don't know it anymore.
Pale Gaelica?
Oh, pale, yeah. They say pale Gaelica, which is Gaelic football. And then just pale is like football, and they use it to refer to American football. We went to one like Gaelic class at our local library, and the teacher was like angry because he's like, you're speaking Gaelic, you shouldn't have to specify pale Gaelica, like you should have to specify pale American, like because if you're speaking Gaelic you should know. which one you're referring to.
Right.
I don't remember.
He has a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, it makes sense. We should not use the word football.
No.
The British, the podcast I listen to, it's hosted by a pair of Brits, which is the same one where I heard this trick or treat thing. One of the hosts calls American football American hand egg.
Yeah, there's very little kicking in football, American football.
Very.
It's it's a misnomer if you ask me. It should be mostly like something like huddle ball. You basically stand around and huddle most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Or on the line, or going to and from. Like if you look at how much an individual runs, it's not very much, I don't think. So
Not much.
Every once in a while, a little sprint, and it's over.
In rugby, because that's a thing.
It always has to come back to rugby.
Rugby. The backs run between 5 and 7 miles a game.
Wow. Yeah, I'd love to know how that compares with like soccer.
They no, I don't. The only time I ever watch soccer is the World Cup. But when a player like leaves the field, they always tell you how far they ran.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, it's one of the like departing stats.
Oh, do you?
It's always in kilometers.
Oh gosh.
But sometimes it's like 10 or 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like 6 miles or so,
Yeah.
6.2 miles,
Yeah.
roughly.
Wow.
Yeah, I know a 5K is a little over 3 miles, so a 10K would be a little over 6. Yeah.
Yeah, and these are the people not playing the whole game because they're getting taken out. So could be
Yeah, that's
could be
crazy.
longer if you're in the whole one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you might be more. They might, be more tired. They might have run more because they're more tired, and that's why they're being taken out. I don't know.
That's true.
I'm overthinking this.
American football is such a
according
weird.
to Runner's World, which I believe is a fairly reputable source for running things, American football players average only 11 minutes of playing time a game.
Oh, brother.
They receivers and cornerbacks run 1.25 miles a game.
Wow.
Whips.
And those are the
And those are the
most
ones
of them
with
during
best.
the kickoff. No.
I
they
was
don't
going
even
to say
run
those are
during
the ones in the
kickoff.
best shape on a football team.
Well,
Yeah,
a
like
tennis player runs up to 3 miles a match.
Who does?
Tennis players.
Oh, tennis players run more. Yeah, American football is such a weird sport where each position is so specialized. It's like if a defensive player, like a line, I don't even know what they're called, but the ones like blocking the defending for the quarterback, the huge ones are like 300-pounders. If they have to run, it's like
Comical.
yeah, it is. It's so funny. But,
What about a baseball player? I would imagine they don't run a ton.
oh, you're right.
An outfielder
so-
might run.
Yeah, that's true. But like an
not a
outfielder's
catcher.
not even involved in every play.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a lot of
But yeah,
standing
like
around.
you're right. A catcher would barely run at all, except
Yeah.
when they're batting.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly about chewing tobacco. That's
Beer drinking and hot dog eating contest between the innings. That's how you hit a lot of home runs.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
American baseball
Mike-
is a weird one too.
Mike Trout. I don't know who that is, but apparently he plays for the Angels.
He's very good.
He's the best baseball player in the world.
Okay. In 2015, he ran just over 6 miles for the entire season.
Oh my gosh.
Didn't get
Yeah.
the game.
Yeah. And I mean, and he gets a lot of hits and a lot of home runs. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know if he's I don't know what position he plays. I don't think he
No,
might be an outfielder.
I don't think
Says
I thought he's
center
like a.
field.
Oh.
I was thinking he was shortstop.
Yeah, I
but
thought he
maybe not.
had a base position, but I don't know. I don't follow baseball. I just know he's like famous for being like the best like
He's
baseball
very good.
player of his generation, but he's not that famous because he's not that
Yeah.
interesting of a person.
Well, and
Says-
he's not been on a very good team
Yeah.
also.
Oh.
So
So the average is 198 feet per game.
Wow. The last time I watched baseball, this is gonna definitely date me, but Randy Johnson was pitching for the Seattle Mariners, and he He was a lot
Oh
of
my goodness.
He was a lot of fun.
That was a long time ago.
It was. Yes, he was a lot of fun to watch. But then he got transferred to another league or something where he actually had to bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
National League doesn't have a designated hitter, or they didn't. Maybe they do now. I don't know.
Yeah, and it was embarrassing because he could not.
Yeah, well, pitchers are never very good at hitting, just because that's not the skill they've. I shouldn't say never. There's one guy right now what's his name? Otani. I can't think of his first name, but he like pitches and plays a position, and he's just like very good all around. But anyway.
Yeah,
Jake, should I tell the story from Thursday that's relevant to this?
That is up to you.
Now you have to.
I don't have a fun fact, but I can tell a story.
Great.
My big work event on Thursday was this huge meeting, like 200 people. And my boss and I basically organized it, and we had a very, very famous baseball player as our guest speaker. And at the end, did
Can
a
you
Q&A.
say who it was? Or no?
Yes, I will. That's me my punchline.
Sorry. I'm stepping on it. Okay.
And during the Q&A, one of the meeting attendees stands up and says, I'm a huge fan of yours. You were a great pitcher. You have all these world records that will never be broken. But I also really admire you at the plate. And I won a trivia contest once by knowing how many home runs you hit in your 37 season career. So I would like to know which of the two was your favorite. and our guest speaker, Nolan Ryan, said, I take great pleasure in telling people that half of my home runs were off of Hall of Famers. And he talked a little bit about that, but it was cool to hear him speak.
That's so cool. You got to hear Nolan Ryan speak. Yeah. That's a name even I know as a non-sports.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like one of the like handful of baseball players I actually know. But
there's a new documentary out about him. I haven't watched it yet though.
Oh.
Yeah, Facing Nolan. My boss did an intro video for him and used a lot of the clips from that and did a really good intros. Pretty good, and of course included the famous fight and a couple other things. He was asked about that. He doesn't like talking about that.
I would bet not.
But it was kind of cool. Like we had him because, so I guess because I'm a marketing person. It doesn't matter. It's not a secret where I work. Like any Texas people who are listening, Nolan Ryan beef is sold exclusively at Kroger, and it's pretty good. So he was talking about. It was our like store manager meeting. So he was talking about baseball, and he talked about ranching, and he talked about like his whole career as like a businessman and everything. It was Chuck Morgan, who's the home voice of the Texas Rangers, interviewing him.
Cool.
Wow.
I texted my dad, not to brag, but I just mic'd up Chuck Morgan, voice of the Texas Rangers, because I pinned a little lapel mic to it. I didn't do Nolan's, but I was hoping to. But
wow,
that was
so
pretty cool.
That's cool.
I'm like learning about sports just because there's like so much sports stuff in my job now.
Yeah.
Like we're having our event on Wednesday. I think Trayvon Diggs is going to be there. Who's the Dallas Cowboys cornerback. And we were talking with Troy Aikman's company. He's like the only football player I actually like care about. Like when I was 2 years old, I stuck an 8 to my chest. It was like, I'm Troy Aikman. This is my dad's favorite. So I am hoping we get to meet him. But we were partnered with the Mavs, we're partnered with the Rangers, like all kinds of sports stuff. Like I don't know anything about sports. I don't care at all. I went to a Cowboys watch party, and I was like, I told my dad it was like the visual equivalent of in when you're out the other. Like I was just watching the screen and none of it was being committed to my short or long term memory. I don't know what's going on here, but there's always food, so I was like, all right, this is fine.
I think that's what it's all about. Like if I ever go to a baseball game, I have no idea what's going on, but it's just about hanging out in the stadium and singing,
Peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
Especially true for baseball, I think, because it can be fairly slow. So it's all about the experience of being there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah,
For
I
sure.
would never watch it on TV. Like, why? But going there is fun, just to be in the crowd.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
I watch sports on TV all the time just to learn them.
You watch boring sports though. He watches like cricket.
I was just gonna
watches
say, cricket is so
marathons.
much more exciting than baseball because like there are hits all the time.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
So-
but he watches like weird sport. He watches cricket. I'll walk in, he's watching like the biathlon. And he watches marathons on TV. But I'll walk in and he's like asleep.
Where it's at, though.
When I
He's
was
like
at,
asleep on the couch with a marathon on TV.
yeah, when I was at Fat Glamp, my cousin likes he likes to bicycle, and so we were watching like some tour of, it's not Tour de France, but it's part of one of those tours, but in a different country, and it was like a week or two. I don't remember how long it was. Every night for hours, watching people riding bikes. It
Yeah.
was.
I think David, when he first time he came to stay at my brother's house, I think he was overwhelmed by the sheer volume of sports that could be on in a home.
Yeah, I hope
at
they're not
any
listening to
given
me talk about football because that's sacred in
Yeah,
her brother's household.
Yeah, so it's like there's like football happening in one room, golf in another room usually,
Yeah.
and then there's one TV that has the Weather Channel. There are at least two TVs playing different sports at some point.
Oh, there's a little bit of trivia.
Yeah.
Fun fact that it's not so fun, is
No,
it?
my brother's devastated.
Yeah. I read recently that the Weather Channel is shutting down.
What?
Shut.
What am I going to do when I get home?
Exactly. Her
Yeah.
brother was so upset. Yeah, it's going. It's
Yeah,
they're
it's
done.
ending in December.
Huh.
Yeah, enjoy it while you
I didn't
can.
know that.
Or it's the automated Weather Channel. I don't know, like the one that's just.
Well, I think it's going to still be an app and a website.
Yeah.
But the actual channel that just shows the weather going away.
Yeah.
We don't, Jake. We don't need the Weather Channel anyway because we have Saint Delcus.
That's true. I would
Our
just
local
like to say-
weatherman is like a hero.
Oh, really?
Everybody knows him. Pete Delcus. I follow him on Twitter. Like, he's so funny, but like, yeah, WFA weather. Like everybody knows Saint Delcus.
It's hot.
That's
again.
like my
What else?
so my hometown, where I grew up. The weatherman would always on the TV, and he's still doing it. Would always close his weather report with "Have a sparkling day in Central Oregon."
Oh, I like that.
So he was kind of the local weatherman's always kind of a local celebrity, but he was especially known for that, for his catchphrase. Oh,
Nice.
bless you.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that was.
I
She-
couldn't hold it in.
She got her flu shot yesterday.
And my COVID booster.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
at the
gotta get
same
mine.
day.
in the same arm. At the
I
same
didn't
time.
want both my arms to hurt.
Saved
it
the
was
Band-Aid though.
strategic.
There was only one Band-Aid for both shots. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I had it on Thursday. I was basically slept all day yesterday, but
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You had it Thursday evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yesterday was.
it wasn't too bad.
No, she was fine compared to the other times. There was a lot of drama. Yeah.
I mean, I thought my COVID booster this time was worse than any of my other previous COVID shots. So
Oh.
That's what I've heard
Personally.
about this
Oh.
latest one.
Really?
the
I haven't
Biden
gotten it
one,
yet.
yeah.
Maybe the flu counteracted it or something, but yeah, I was
She
just
had less
super
trouble than-
tired.
Yeah, she had a lot less of a reaction.
Yeah, but I didn't
than-
have the really bad chills that I had last time.
By the way, I should just clarify that. I mean, this might be a little awkward, but we don't really take sides on this issue. So if anyone's not vaccinated, there's no judgment here, at least from my side.
Yeah, speak for
I have
yourself
judgment.
because I definitely have
Completely
just
unvaccinated by choice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Everybody who participates in this podcast is vaccinated.
We are, we are, but I don't want to alienate people who, for their own personal reasons. Like I will say, okay,
Oh, let's.
I'm just gonna say.
let's just stop, David.
I was gonna say this one thing.
No,
'cause we
David, let's just stop. Can you cut this, please?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything good to
I don't think we're going
have that
anywhere good.
discussion.
Yeah.
I will say Kipchoge is about to break the 2-hour marathon record, which is
really?
26.2 miles in under 2 hours.
My God.
Have you seen
Yeah.
the Kipchoge challenge on Instagram at all?
No,
Where
I haven't.
people try to see how long they can maintain his marathon pace on a
Oh,
treadmill, and it's
yeah,
like
it's
20,
insane.
20 seconds, 30 seconds. Like,
So, yeah, like technically he has broken the 2-hour limit previously in Berlin, but that was an event that was engineered to be
Right.
broken for
He
two
had
hours.
people running in front of him to break the
Yeah.
wind.
So he's done it. It was like a minute 59:40 something. But in a standard sporting event, like he just broke like so he broke his record. He set a record last year of like 2:01:30 something. And then this year again in Berlin he broke it. So the record now stands at 2 hours, 1 minute and 9 seconds for a marathon.
what
So
race is he going to try to break it? Like next year at Berlin, or
probably like
okay,
Like
it's flat, right?
Berlin's pretty flat, and the time of year that they run it, like it's like 60 or 65 degrees out, so like
Yeah,
it's warm enough, but not like hot,
yeah.
right? So it's pretty good weather. Um, what surprised me about him, because I know him from marathon, but he used to be a 5K runner, like an Olympic 5K runner. Beforehand, and he won a bunch of events, and then he's like, I'm going to run a marathon, and now he's like the top marathoner out there.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. But it's like, what's the American guy? He went from like being a 10K runner, I think, to a marathon runner. Galen, is that Galen Rupp? Is that his name?
uh Galen, yeah, I think Galen something,
Okay. Anyway,
but
yeah.
so yeah, like RJ gives me a bunch of grief because marathons are boring and I watch them, but like you get these top tier guys that have been running forever, run 3 minute kilometers, and in the middle of the race, like you never know who's going to drop out in the middle of it. Like top tier guys are just like 10 miles in, nope, not my day, and they'll drop out. Like
Yeah.
most people don't finish, even at the professional level.
Wow.
Yeah. I wonder if that's like if you're running to place and you know pretty early on that it's not going to happen, you're like, well, why put myself through this? Versus someone who's like, I'm running the marathon, like this is going to be my one marathon, or I'm doing it in order to, and I'm like, my point is finishing. Like they're more likely to stick it out. I don't know.
Well, so the U.S., I want to say it was a woman, like on the U.S. national team. There was a woman. There was a woman a couple of years ago that their first marathon was the Olympic trials.
Ooh.
And she won it, and she went to the Olympics.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just crazy.
Her
Like you never
second
know.
marathon was the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think there was some interview, I can't remember who it was with before the Chicago Marathon, where it was like an average runner interviews an elite runner or something. And she was like, I couldn't imagine running a marathon in like 2 hours and 10 minutes or whatever. And he goes, I can't imagine running a marathon for 5 hours. I don't run that long. Like I can't run for 5 hours straight.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, that puts in a little bit of perspective for me. That it's hard both the ways we do this. Yeah.
Yeah. I just like how stupid people are. Because like the first person to run a marathon died, right? Like
Yeah.
he came back to from marathon, gave his report, and just keeled over. And everyone's like, hey, next year we should remember this event by running the same distance.
Yeah.
They're like rubbing it in his face every time. Like, I can do it without dying. What's wrong with you?
The New York City Marathon is,
Next weekend.
yeah.
Yep.
So we'll be
Timely.
having some runners through our neighborhood.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go out and see a little bit and cheer a little bit.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
That's always fun.
the jackhammer has begun.
Oh boy! All right.
Water line.
Well, I think it's a good time to
Yeah.
call it. Then
Wrap it up.
we will wrap it up. And RJ, where can people find us online?
Where's my script? Oh no. I have 15 baseballs. Okay. if you like the show, follow us on all the social media. We're at Hot Chai Games on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. If you're not watching live right now, we're also Hot Chai Games on YouTube, where we record this podcast with live art every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. If you are watching live right now, stick around for the Match Solitaire Daily Challenge. Either way, like, subscribe, leave a review, and tell your friends.
All right.
And check out the art from this episode because I think RJ has really outdone herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is super
Also
cool.
used a really cool brush that made everything looks like neon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sidewalk chalk.
Yeah, it's the light pen.
Oh.
I feel like every time, every live stream, I like try to use different styles. I have a chalk one, I have a like crayon one, different. But I like this neon one.
I like that too.
That's super cool. Don't forget to send it to me so I can include it.
Yes.
All right, that's it for us. We'll see you same time, same place next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
All right.
What is the $1? What is that?
Oh, it's a marshmallow from the dollar store.
Oh, okay. It was like where everything had come from
Campfire marshmallow.
in our wide-ranging discussion. And also, I was wondering, RJ, when you like dropped down the menu at one point, I was like, is this a record for the most layers in one of your drawings? Because every item is a different layer, right? And I mean,
yeah, we have. Well, I have some that are like combined.
Oh,
but...
okay. But still, like you've got 36 layers, and that's a lot.
Yeah. That might be the most for one of the live stream drawings. I'm not sure. I do merge sometimes, not in this one, but just to move stuff around. But yeah, there we go. A lot of things. It's an I Spy game this time.
It is fun, yeah.
Cool. Well, I know, RJ, you need to get going. I assume
Yes, I do.
Jake as well?
Yeah.
All right. See you guys next week? Or
My screen is still showing on the stream. Am I good to...
Yeah, I'll transition it. There you go.
Okay.
I will not be here next week. I have army things.
Okay.
And maybe the week after that. Who knows? Someone probably knows, but I don't.
All right.
I will be on, and I will
Did you
be...
picture shots when I did that?
Yeah.
Sorry, RJ.
It's okay. I'll be on next week, and I just checked. Next week is November 5th, and the artist I'm managing, his first song comes out on the 6th, so I will have things to say.
Oh,
next
exciting!
Very cool.
Everybody needs to have Guy Fawkes related.
Yeah, I was going to say 5th of November, we can do a Guy Fawkes themed.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I think we did that one. Did we? I feel like Jake brought something up about Guy Fawkes once before.
I think it's
Probably.
come up, but I don't think we had it.
Not as an official. Yeah.
A theme.
Cool. Yeah, that would be awesome. Alrighty. Well, guess we will get on with the Match Solitaire Challenge. I understand it's number 2 is difficult today. From Discord. So,
Okay.
All right. Good luck.
all right, take care.
Bye.
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 All right, Caitlin,
Yes.
we're gonna share.
Yeah, as soon as Zoom like has different, like they changed their menu,
Oh
their,
gosh.
their display a little bit at the bottom of the screen. There's like more options now. Anyway,
I'm gonna start. I fixed the licensing issue, so we should be able to
might sneeze again. Sorry in advance. It's okay for now. I'm not sure how long it'll last.
Sorry, readjust because everything was configured for only one screen now. Showing of Zoom, but I think it's all right. All right. Well, I have not. All right. Well, I guess I should do an intro. Here we go. Transition. Are we streaming and live? Everything's good. Okay. Good morning. Welcome to the Match Solitaire Saturday Challenge Live. Every Saturday we play the Match Solitaire Daily Puzzles after recording the Fun Facts Live podcast at 11 a.m. Eastern. You're invited to take the challenge with us. See if you can beat our times. I'm your host, David. With me today is Allison.
Hello.
And Caitlin.
Hi.
And it sounds like Miles has left us.
Miles has gone to take a nap.
Okay.
So hopefully you will not hear him.
Okay. All right. So I am really far behind in editing. So I guess that makes me the countdown.
Okay.
Today.
Easy enough.
So, yeah. We'll try really hard to get that done today.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because we've got like Halloween themed fun facts.
I need to get it done. Mm-hmm. I'll just sit here until I get it done.
I mean, you could even start with today's if you wanted, and then like.
That's true.
That's what I would do.
Ones. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Let's go.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go. Oh, no sound.
Was it last week or 2 weeks? Probably 2 weeks ago. I don't think I was on last week. That you like kept counting, and we were like, "Nope, we're going."
Yeah, I gave up on that. Yeah, nobody waits.
You can't fool us. You can't fool us again.
Yeah. Let's see.
What am I doing? I don't even know. I already don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I might have to start over already.
It felt okay.
I feel very rusty.
Yeah, I'm stuck. Okay, let's try again. Okay, different direction today.
Shoot, I also feel myself getting hungry. That's not good. Uh-oh.
Yeah, fortunately, I have a little bit of coffee left. It's a little bit of an appetite suppressant.
So I alluded to this a little bit on the podcast, but I didn't want to go into the details because it's a little bit gross.
Oh.
But poor Paris has not been feeling well.
Oh.
And so we've had to rush her outside a couple times.
Oh.
There was, we had an accident waiting for us when we got up this morning. So that's why this morning has been a little bit that. And then like Miles has been, I don't know, just didn't want to take a nap and when he normally does. And it just like everything today's just been like one of those days. So
yikes. That's a lot.
We think Paris drank out of a bad puddle.
Oh. Yikes. Leah does that from time to time.
That then kind of set things in motion.
How long has that been going on?
Just since yesterday.
Okay. I hope she gets over it soon.
Yeah. I mean, I think she will. I think she's going to be fine. It's just we have to kind of like deal with it
Yeah, we haven't had to do that, thank goodness, so far. I'm not looking forward to that ever.
I'm on the
Yikes.
second one. I just wanted full transparency.
Oh my
No, I'm still
gosh.
on the first one.
Me too. Although I am definitely making progress, so I think I shouldn't be on it too much longer.
I can't even get a good start going. So
Yeah, it was hard to
be
get
a
started.
long-
But
I'm
then,
done with the second one.
oh my gosh. Uh-oh, we're in
I
trouble.
thought that was the hard one.
It was supposed to be, according to someone on Discord. I just started the second one.
Oh no.
And it's stuck already.
I'm restarting the third one. Maybe the third one was the hard one.
Yikes.
I'm really having a hard time with the third one.
I thought I was on a good path on the second one, but it's not. It's not happening.
Okay, I got the first one finally. That felt like it took way longer than it should have. Uh-oh, we're very quiet.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Come on. Come on. Made a mistake. That way. That way.
Yeah, start over again.
Okay. All right. I'm done.
Okay.
All right, I'm nowhere close, so.
Yeah, I just started the third one and I'm not.
Oh, you started the third one? Okay.
No, sorry. I'm still on the second one. What am I saying? Wow.
Okay.
No, I'm not anywhere close either. We should just call it.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll go work on this offline.
Yeah. All right. Well, good job, Allison. Thanks for
I'm doing my
whipping
dance.
through that. That was amazing.
Doing my victory dance on the couch.
Yeah. All
Well
right.
deserved.
Thanks. It's been a while.
Yep. All right. Well, that's it for us. We'll see you same time, same place next week, right?
Right.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. And